AEW Dynasty, or as I prefer, Dynasty. Going to give you my match card and predictions for you here today. Some top matches on the card, including Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson. For the AEW Tag Team Championships in a ladder match, we've got FTR against the Young Bucks. For the AEW Women's World Championship, we've got Timeless Toni Storm versus Thunder Rosa. And can Swerve Strickland win the big one as he attempts to win the AEW World Championship from champion Samoa Joe? You can skip to your favourite match using the chapters featured below, but I recommend just stick around for the entire video. Going to kick things off with the dream match between Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson, where Will Ospreay became All Elite. The match I was most excited to see, the match I wanted to see the most, was against Bryan Danielson. Like I say, simple but effective, this storyline. Who is the best wrestler in the world? Of course, there was an awkward promo as well. Will Ospreay was talking about something about the grind. But when we come to it, I think this is going to be potentially match of the night. Could even be match of the year. I'm that excited for it. For me, Will Ospreay, I've noticed already, is third in the updated rankings for AEW. He's had like 8 or 9 wins since coming into the company. I think they're going to continue that momentum because Will Ospreay will be the guy challenging for the AEW World Championship when it comes to Wembley at All In August. I think for that reason he should pick up the win here against Bryan Danielson. I would not be surprised if we get some shenanigans involved maybe after the match has finished, something to do with the Don Callis family, because, well, Will Ospreay has been sort of a babyface since he's come in. Of course, he was a heel last year, of course, getting the help with Don Callis, but the family has been getting involved, obviously, with Claudio Castagnoli after Will Ospreay's match on Dynamite this past week, and Will Ospreay was kind of, what are you doing? He was happy to protect Carl Fletcher, of course, a member of that group, mainly because they were a part of United Empire in New Japan, but he was a bit confused by the actions of the Don Callis group, so that could lead to something interesting at the end of the match, because, well, Don Callis family and the Blackpool Combat Club have started a bit of a rivalry on the side. I think will lead to anarchy in the arena for Double or Nothing, and probably to Blood and Guts at some point in the summer. Where Will Ospreay stands in with all that could be very interesting. I wouldn't be surprised later down the line if he's actually on the Blackpool Combat Club side, but for this match on this show, I think that he'll be just a bit confused by the actions if there is any involvement from the Don Callis family at all. But my final prediction will be Will Ospreay to pick up the victory. We have the tournament finals to crown a brand new AEW World Tag Team Champions, the Young Bucks, taking on FTR in a ladder match. Both teams are looking to become the first time ever 3-time AEW World Tag Team Champions. Of course, this match also based off who is the best in the world, the best tag team. We've had a best of 3 series. This is the 4th match now between these two teams. However, this feud has taken a bit of a twist and a turn when a certain footage from AEW All In was aired. Of course, yes, the CM Punk and Jack Perry backstage altercation took place. Of course, it was CCT footage. There was no sound. It was very controversial at the time. A lot of people were not on board with it, myself included. Didn't see the benefit of it, and of course it was aired pretty much not long after CM Punk had explained what had happened on an interview with Ariel Helwani. So it felt like this was done to embarrass CM Punk. However, it felt like a flip reverse because pretty much a lot of what CM Punk said happened. So it wasn't really going to damage any of CM Punk's reputation more than perhaps it already had. It certainly wasn't anything different to what we were expecting. But obviously, Jack Perry was featured in the footage, and I started to wonder, maybe Jack Perry was the reason for showing this. Maybe not as much CM Punk, because Jack Perry's received a lot of the blame, obviously. The famous story, of course, was the wanting to use real glass in an angle, and CM Punk was against it, was told to say something about it, do it on Wednesdays, not on Saturdays. The fact then that a glass spot was done at All In, and Jack Perry said, this is real glass, cry me a river. That's what led to the backstage altercation. And of course, well, we have noticed the Young Bucks have been commenting on Jack Perry in recent weeks, of course. Remember, during the, I believe it was the semi-finals, Matt Jackson come out when he was with Nick and said, scapegoat, loving your work. Obviously, that's when the footage was then aired, and the Young Bucks used this on their feud for FTR, saying that they were kind of put off by everything that happened because this happened just before the show started, and it threw them off their game, so that the third match didn't really count. That's why they didn't shake their hands with FTR or anything like that, because they felt that they were pretty much taken, that special moment, the biggest show in AEW was taken away from them. So pretty much, how can they get the revenge here? is winning the ladder match. Obviously, it's a match they are perhaps more seen as a specialty for than FTR. However, I do think FTR are going to be pretty awesome in the ladder match. They'll find ways to make it unique for their own style. I'm really looking forward to it. It should be an awesome match, but I think the way that the Young Bucks are going to win it, I think a scapegoat is about to return to AEW. Of course, he's done what I believe is his last appearance for New Japan Pro Wrestling, the Riot Show last week. Of course, that was in Chicago. He did appear, by the way, with, I believe, security guards, had a jacket that said Cry Me a River. You know, he was pretty much playing up to the CM Punk stuff, and I think fans, even in Chicago, were starting to buy into it. So this is what I think could happen. Jack Perry could come in. He would actually fit perfectly with the EVPs because he is the scapegoat, probably been treated wrongly in the situation. They know Jack Perry is not liked by people in the consensus of what happened, so they're going to use it for the Young Bucks to get more heat, and I think that's pretty much what they're going to look to do and probably could do pretty effectively. So I think Jack Perry will return. I think he is going to be the reason that the Young Bucks win the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Of course, someone else that is aligned with the Young Bucks right now in the Elite is Kazuchika Okada. He is the Continental Champion. He'll be defending it against Pac. A lot of this feud is taking place on Collision. Pretty much wherever Okada's been, Pac has been not far behind. They've been involved in multi-man matches as well, but really looking forward to this singles match. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. However, Okada's not losing this one. It's great to see Pac back in an AEW ring, but he is probably going to be the first of many that are going to fall victim to Okada, because of course, if he's the Continental Champion at the end of the year, he will take part in the Continental Classic, and I think Kazuchika Okada is used to these style of tournaments in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I think he'll be walking in as the champion in AEW later this year. We've got a 6-man tag team match. We've got the TNT champion Adam Copeland teaming up with Eddie Kingston and Mark Briscoe, taking on the House of Black. Looking forward to this one. It's an interesting 6-man tag team match, mainly because will Eddie Kingston and Mark Briscoe get along? They were rivals at Supercard of Honor on WrestleMania weekend, where Mark Briscoe won the Ring of Honor World Championship from Eddie Kingston. So that could be an interesting beat to this story. And the other beat, of course, is Copeland and House of Black have had a bit of stuff going on for the last few weeks over on Collision. I think that this match is building to set up the next TNT Championship challenger, which I think will be Malachi Black for Double or Nothing. So I'm going to predict that House of Black win, and not only that, I think that Malachi Black is going to pin Adam Copeland in the match. So yeah, could be interesting how it'll happen, and it could be a fallout, because if Briscoe and Kingston end up, let's say, brawling each other in some fashion, which I'm not going to predict is going to happen, but saying it did, it could leave Copeland in a position where it's 3-on-1, and of course then that would make the job quite inevitable that the House of Black would come out victorious. Another member of the House of Black is Julia Hart. She'll be defending the TBS Championship against Willow Nightingale in a House Rules match, and of course Willow Nightingale will be accompanied to the ring by Stokely Hathaway. To be honest, this match I'm really looking forward to. Of course, not only the winner of this being the TBS champion, but we'll be taking on Mercedes Moné at Double or Nothing. And to be honest, despite the fact that Mercedes Moné has had a, dare I say, controversial start in AEW, not everybody has been a fan in the way that she has debuted and been in the company so far. I do feel that there is a bit of buzz to see who will be the person that will be facing her at that show, because both ladies have legitimate reasons to be facing Mercedes Moné, and to be fair, are both believable as well. Willow Nightingale has the history from New Japan Strong. Of course, if she's to win this championship here, then she would be the one then to take her on, and we've seen them be on the same page, and a little bit of teasers of perhaps turning on one another, mainly Willow on Mercedes. And of course, Julia Hart, well, she's made no secret about it, she has sort of turned her attention towards Mercedes at points, but someone did attack Mercedes Moné in the dark in AEW, and I imagine it's probably one of these two ladies. It'll be interesting to find out who it will be, but that's not the thing I need to predict at this particular moment. The person I need to predict is the one that will be walking out TBS champion, and I'm actually saying it's time for a title change. I think Willow Nightingale will get the job done. She's on a bit of a run at the moment, so I would say Willow Nightingale will win the TBS championship. It'll be Willow versus Mercedes Moné at Double or Nothing, and I wouldn't be surprised if Julia Hart was to take on the winner of that at the following pay-per-view. Next, for the International Championship, we've got Roderick Strong defending against Kyle O'Reilly. Of course, Kyle O'Reilly did make the return at Revolution, to everybody's surprise. He was actually offered to join the Undisputed Kingdom, but he hasn't done so. He wants to do everything on his own, and to be fair, he's been cool Kyle that we've seen kind of like from the NXT days, it feels, at this point. It's kind of been supportive of everybody in the locker room, even if they're going against his friends, and to the point of Battle of the Belts that basically the Kingdom had had enough, and so had Roderick Strong, because he'd asked Kyle to join this group a number of times. It hadn't happened, so I guess if you're not with us, you're against us. When it comes to the match, I think Kyle O'Reilly is going to make a very good effort, but I do expect the numbers game will be too much for him. Roderick Strong is my prediction to retain. Next match is for the FTW Championship. In FTW rules, Hook will be defending against Chris Jericho. And to be honest, I'm not invested in this match in the slightest. Jericho looking to do the mentorship role with Hook. Hook has actually beaten Jericho already, which has impressed him, but then it comes to when they want to team up together, and Jericho kind of just wants to take over, to the point that Hook doesn't seem interested, and well, Hook doesn't seem interested in much, to be fair. And I'm not very interested in this match, so I'm going to get straight to the prediction. I think that Hook is going to beat Jericho once again. However, with it being FTW rules, there is always a sneaky suspicion that Jericho could walk away with a championship here. This one could go either way, but I will predict Hook. For the AEW Women's World Championship, we've got Timeless Toni Storm taking on Thunder Rosa. Really looking forward to this match, actually. Thunder Rosa kind of snuck through the back door in a way, because it was Deonna Purrazzo looking for a rematch. Thunder Rosa was Deonna's tag team partner when taking on Storm and Mariah May, and Thunder Rosa picked up the victory over Toni Storm in that tag team match. Even Deonna Purrazzo looked quite frustrated, to the point that they're still not fully seeing eye to eye ever since. However, they will get together and defeat the numbers game, as Timeless Toni Storm does have Luther and of course Mariah May, of course, doing the Toni Storm old school cosplay on AEW and weekly TV. So it's interesting to see how this match will play out. Thunder Rosa, of course, has had the top winning record as well, beating Mariah May to get this championship opportunity here at the show. But I do think that Timeless Toni Storm will be retaining. I think there could be a reason where Deonna Purrazzo accidentally cost Thunder Rosa the match here, and that could lead to a three-way at Double or Nothing. That's if I had to predict early now. So yeah, either way, Timeless Toni Storm for me to pick up the win here. I still think Storm is keeping this championship until either Mariah May at All In, or probably my more likely guess would be Jamie Hayter if she's fit to return by then. It's main event time, and the match with the best build, let's be fair. Samoa Joe versus Swerve Strickland for the AEW World Championship. Look, Samoa Joe managed to escape Revolution in a match that Swerve was involved by defeating Hangman Adam Page, the freeway, of course. So Swerve had to earn his opportunity to get this championship shot once again. Of course, he defeated Konosuke Takeshita to do so, and well, Swerve has carried the chain around, hasn't he? Saying that he's choked people out, he's put people out, he's done what he's needed to do to win matches to get him this position. Of course, Joe has also at times done what he's needed to do as well. There's been some brutal attacks on a weekly basis. Sometimes Joe's come out on top, sometimes Swerve has come out on top, but the big question is, who is going to walk away the AEW World Champion? Look, this roster right now is stacked, it's very talented. There are so many people worthy and deserving of being AEW World Champion. None more so right now, in my opinion, than Swerve Strickland. It is his time. His booking over the last 8 months or so has been nothing short of phenomenal. He's been on a high rise in AEW and been booked very, very well. You have to strike here while the iron is hot. If he loses on this particular match, and I think the only way he does is if Hangman Adam Page is fit and ready to return and they do it one last time at Double or Nothing. Otherwise, for me, Swerve has to win this match. Joe, yes, would only have held the championship for about 4 months. We're used to long reigns in AEW, but right now, personally, I think that shorter reigns may be a better way to go. 4 or 5 months for me is long enough for someone holding that world championship right now, especially if I had to predict the cycle. I would say Joe to lose here, for Swerve to win the championship, and Swerve versus Ospreay at All In, where Ospreay could win the AEW World Championship. But of course, this night and this show will be about Swerve Strickland. This is the main event, and Swerve Strickland will walk away AEW World Champion. So that's my predictions there for the main show, but quickly we'll go through the buy-in just before we wrap things up here today. Orange Cassidy and Shibata will be taking on Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty. I've got Shibata and Cassidy going over in this match. And we also have Trent Baretta against Matt Sydal. Of course, Trent did attack Matt Sydal. Was trying to make the save for Orange Cassidy this past week on Dynamite. I think Trent Baretta will be picking up the win here. The big story is Trent Baretta versus Orange Cassidy. That match clearly being saved for Double or Nothing, of course, when Trent did turn on Orange in a very fantastic fashion, let's be fair, with the way that they did the big hug, and then of course Baretta going with the running knee was just so well executed and so beautifully done. But yeah, obviously I think both of those will pick up wins here. They'll have the match at Double or Nothing. And last but not least, on the buy-in, we have got the Acclaimed versus Bullet Club Gold. Yes, the AEW Trios Champions versus the ROH 6-man Tag Team Champions. Winner takes all. Who walks away with both sets of trios championships are going to be then the best trio in the world. Look, I'm going to say it straight off the bat, this is the closest to a main event Jay White can get right now, being the main event of this podcast at this second. Justice for Jay White, he does deserve better. He's a top talent and should be pushed as so. But for me, I actually am going to go with Bullet Club Gold here to pick up the win. Look, these were two trios that were attacked by the Undisputed Kingdom. They came together to be the Bang Bang Scissor Gang, and of course they were going to take out the Undisputed Kingdom. Never happened. Not quite sure why. It seems very big in the loophole of storytelling, the fact that both of these trios have kind of just moved on and got on with it and not ready to go back for the other guys that were involved in the Kingdom. But still, I suppose they're looking for gold. They couldn't get on with each other. They've got a chance to win more championships. So, hey, we'll see where it leads. But my prediction will be Jay White and the Guns. I do feel the Acclaim's trios run has got stale for a long time. Yes, they have those unique championship belts, but I'm ready for a desperate change with the trios championships. And if it was up to me, unify the gold, because let's be honest here, I'm not interested in two sets of trios championships in AEW and RH. I know that technically they're two separate companies under the same banner, but yeah, I'm not interested in it. I think you should just unify them at this point. But that's my predictions there for you for AEW Dynasty, or should I say Dynasty. Let me know your predictions right now in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, share with a friend, and subscribe as well. Massive thank you to all the support coming to the channel at the moment. Everyone that is watching, everyone that's commenting, and of course as well, everyone that is subscribing right now and hitting those like buttons at the end of these videos. Look after yourselves and each other. Check out the videos on the side of your screen, and I'll see you for the next video.